This is the LEGO Star Wars Vader's castle. It's a pretty sizable build, especially for a location set, and it's pretty triangular too. It came with a small starfighter that could actually fit underneath the set, and as you go up, you can see there are a ton of different levels for all the minifigures included. This Vader's castle set is still a very highly regarded set among the LEGO Star Wars community today. And this is the Yavin 4 Rebel base. It's a pretty sizable build, especially for a location set, and it's pretty triangular too. It came with a small starfighter that could actually fit underneath the set, and as you go up, you can see there are a ton of different levels for all the minifigures included. This Yavin 4 set, while it's not outright hated, it's definitely nowhere near a fan favorite set, to say the least. So, what exactly happened there? Like, on a conceptual level, these are the exact same set. Well, I mean, the answer's pretty obvious, isn't it? This thing is ridiculously overpriced. I mean, it only comes with like 2.5 times the number of minifigures that Vader's castle did. The Y-Wing is actually larger than the TIE Fighter, and it also comes with more side builds, plus the Yavin 4 actually takes up more space than Vader's castle does, and by sheer weight of plastic, it's almost double the weight of Vader's castle. I mean, it's actually pretty fairly priced. There's just no way. This thing does not look like $170. It has to be overpriced. But no matter what way you slice it, unless you're looking at price per piece, which in and of itself is a terrible metric, this thing is right on. It is not overpriced. It might actually even be considered a good deal. But that doesn't stop it from feeling overpriced. I mean, it just looks like what they're asking for it is way too much. Numbers don't lie, but in this case, maybe they do? If this set didn't flop because of the price, then why did it do so much worse than Vader's castle did? Well, I imagine that there are a decent portion of you who disagree with the idea that this set was a flop. And I'd have to imagine that, generally speaking, the best indicator for whether that's true or not is your age. When it comes to overall play value, this base is top tier, and so was the Vader's castle. When you consider the appeal that this set might have to older LEGO fans, there's really not much of anything there. They ended up going with a lot of design choices that, while they might not make the set look bad, they certainly don't help it look any better. Compare that to Vader's castle, which, top to bottom, clearly has a very nice, clean aesthetic that would be attractive to adult collectors. Not to mention the very desirable, exclusive Darth Vader that comes in this one. And I can't help but feel like that is why this gets called overpriced all the time. Not because it's actually overpriced, but because it just doesn't offer any value to adult collectors. And you might say, well, adults not wanting it shouldn't tank its sales at all, because LEGO is primarily a kid's toy after all. And to that I would say, not really anymore. LEGO is becoming less and less of a kid's toy every day, and more so an adult collector's item. I'd honestly be surprised if adults didn't make up at least 50% of LEGO's consumer base. And if your target audience is mostly adults, and you make a product mostly for play, then it's not surprising when it ends up on clearance quite a bit. And I'd argue that that's really what it boils down to, is that as we continue moving through time, the new generation has less interest in what the old generation liked, and the older generations now have the money to buy what they always wanted when they were a kid. So this thing wasn't actually overpriced, but it may as well have been, because for better or for worse, a sizable portion of the consumer base saw no value in it. So what do you guys think? Does this make sense? Is LEGO changing, or am I stretching this? Some YouTube yoga, if you want to call it that.